We have a serious problem. Our white water monitor, Amari, has eggs stuck inside of her, and if they don't come out soon, she could die.
So yesterday, Dustin and I were watching her. She started nesting per norm, and she laid, I think, 7 eggs. And I started noticing her to slow down, a lot of sleeping and stuff like that. So we respond with supportive care. So I took her out, I put her into a bath of warm water with a calcium D3 solution. So I take warm water and I add calcium with D3, the Zoo Med stuff, and I put it in there and I make like this white bath. So this water is warm. I want to get her core temperature up. See if Dustin can remove her without her hanging on to everything.
Come on, sweetheart. Hang on.
Here we go. Put her in there. So the idea is to heat her up and also get her drinking so we can get calcium to her. And calcium is used for nerve communication. So she's drinking. You can already see she's drinking. So at the very least, there's a little bit of benefit. So let's not forget that when we, the egg-laying process certainly commands a lot of need on taxing on the body. But the eggs, the production of the eggs, the calcification of the eggs, the whole process nutritionally and what it robs the animal, we're trying to manage all that by artificially just putting back, this calcium with D3 in this case. And at the very least, we're just, giving the nerves what they need. So the next thing is we're going to let her heat up. She might even try to pass this egg in the water. So we're going to do everything we can until I actually have to go in there and physically remove or damage, destroy the egg so that then she can pass it. Let her soak in there for half hour. It brings her core body temperature up by adding pretty warm water to really get that core temperature up so she's more efficient at muscle contractions and all that. We did it for a while. We put her back in there and we let her stay quiet. Next morning, we come in, still hadn't laid eggs. She's kind of quiet. Noticing when I take her out, when she walks, she kind of drags her butt and her rear legs. They're almost like a partial paralysis. This is a clear sign that this animal is having complications to egg laying. So she's essentially egg bound. And if we do not step in and resolve the problem, this can cost her life. Very quickly, I've watched water monitors go down. If you don't know how to correct it, and you don't do what you need to do, like bring it to a vet who actually really knows something, you can sit there and watch her demise. So if Dustin and I didn't happen to notice this and we let a couple days go by, death. That's a fact. Not even, no joke. If she gets this egg stuck there, the egg is going to poison her body. Once it's time to get rid of the egg, it then becomes like a ticking time bomb. So it's a very large mass. It is a big amount of organic material in there that can pollute her body. It's stuck in her pelvic girdle, I bet. And it's a huge process to try to get rid of it. And this animal, very unlikely, can't correct this problem because I already noticed that she can't walk normal.
What would happen to this animal in the wild?
She'll die.
And we would never see this animal, right?
Yeah, because they're already watching. Very quickly she's declined, and that is a good indicator that things are going to go bad real quick. Sometimes they can actually take the eggs, their body can start trying to absorb them, and what they do is they mummify the egg, they shrink down the egg, they try to pull as much out of the egg as possible, and then they can pass it. Right now, I've already put my fingers in her and already felt, I have some cell phone video of that, and showing like what's going on. And what happens often, the egg is large. So this is her first clutch. So she has to pass this kind of obtuse object through her pelvic girdle. So there's some elasticity of the pelvic girdle and allows some flexing. But that is literally relying on muscle contractions to push it through that pelvic girdle, get it through that opening, out into the other side, which is the cloaca, and then out into the world. Normal situation. If the egg maybe is too big, or more importantly, the surface of the egg gets this pebbling. It becomes like ultra calcified, and it gets these little raised points, and that smooth sheath that egg is sliding through kind of gets caught there's a lot of friction, and it actually kind of traps that egg from moving. So she's pushing, and as she's moving, that smooth sheath is moving with it, and it kind of catches in. It's like a net, doesn't pass. So I'm going to try to get in there. I'm going to try to circle my finger around the egg and actually try to release that pebbling and see what's going on. Now, what's really interesting, I wish the eggs were all like this small.
Me too.
That would be, these two eggs are pretty small, but
it's weird.
So that feels pretty smooth. So that one egg has
Just one grainy one.
Yeah, so grainy. That's the way to describe it, Donny. Good. So this is what she laid. This was like her first clutch. I think maybe only one egg left in her. Although she looks kind of big, but right now this one egg is the problem.
Yep.
Oh, that's. Oh wow. That is. Yeah, that's good, because I'm gonna help that. If we can get her to pass that egg on her own, it's going to be the most fantastic way. Otherwise, I'm going to have to get involved, and I'll destroy the egg, because her life is, the only thing that matters. Recognizing the problem in the early stages, all too often people will kind of ignore it or not understand it, and they just not really aware of what's going on. By the time we recognize, oh my God, this is really bad, the animal has declined so much. And that is a big deal. She's lost the energy. Maybe the body's starting to tox out. Maybe an egg ruptured. Egg rupturing, death. Very, very fast death, because it literally poisons the body, and I cannot stress this enough. All we're doing is, so we're gonna just, oh, she's got it halfway right there.
You're okay. You got this.
Okay, that's a grainy kind of egg.
Got
it.
I know.
Now Dustin's gonna do supportive
He's a midwife.
mental. Oh, he's definitely a midwife. He's everything. Come on, I want to get that out.
Come here, girl.
I know.
It's tough. I get it. Come on, Mary.
So what I did earlier is I got my finger around this egg, and this takes a lot. She's
gotta be a big egg.
Oh goodness.
It's gotta be a big egg, huh? Come on, Mary. You got it. Girl.
So I'll get my finger around
Doing such a good job.
the egg. I did this earlier to release, try to get all that grainy thing to release. So right now, my finger being in here, helping her dilate, and we're encouraging the muscle contractions. I got her body temperature up. She's well hydrated. So I've pretty much done about as much as I can do with something further invasive. Well, I can solve this problem pretty quick if I just destroy the egg. Okay, so I can pass this along my finger like that. If you see this, pass it like that, and then I get to the egg, and I can. My fingers have Vaseline on them. Right into the egg. I just pierced the egg. Thank you.
Come on, girl. Good. You're good. I know, Mary. I know.
Okay. So I just pierced the egg. Do you want to stand her body up? Okay. See what's going on now. Put her in that for a bit, a little bit. Just gotta get. I'm gonna go. So we're giving her a break. It's really strenuous to her. So she's contractions, and obviously I don't know anything about childbirth, but ladies, you would, and it's probably incredibly taxing. That phone sucks. Incredibly taxing on your system. So right now we have this muscle contractions. She's really trying to expel this egg, even though it's partially deflated. I want to let her heat up. I want to get her so she, you know, catches her breath and rallies. And so we're just gonna hopefully let her heat up a little bit, and then we're gonna get this egg out. All right, Donny's not here for this, but this is my girl, and she passed the egg, and that's it. And I'm attracting flies. Okay, so this is the egg. Let's take a look. Okay, that's all. It's all like granulated on the end. All right, wow, that must be such a relief for her. Hi, sweetie, you're resting. So it's got her in this little enclosure where she can bask, and she's got water right here. So it's kind of just keep a close eye on her. But that's absolutely wonderful. I'm thrilled. Let's got this egg out of her. Look at that. We are crawling. That one egg was the doomsday egg, and this is potentially a good egg. Okay, we're gonna work this. This is so pretty much about 7 hours after I drained it, she passed it. Oh, this one. I put her in a cage where I heated her up and stuff like that, so she was able to pass it. Then I got her out walking around, and just like this, I was able to work out. Oh, this is so close. Come on, sweetie. She's there it
is.
Okay. See all this right here?
Yep.
Okay, so why does this actually happen? So one thing to note in captivity theory could be maybe too much of a good thing. So we have an animal like this that has lots of nutritional opportunities, feeding, lots of calcium, lots of this, lots of that. So when they get all this stuff, sometimes we get maybe a little bit too much calcium, and maybe a little bit much calcium is put on the eggs. Maybe the eggs are a little bigger than normally would because we're feeding her well and giving her what she needs. So all these things were just, you know, life in the wild is peaks and valleys. So you have periods of time where they'll go for quite a while with very minimal food opportunities, and then it's feast and famine and all that stuff. But that ultimately might create a healthier situation for, you know, the life of these wild animals in captivity. You know, let's face it, we're opulent. This has got some junk all over it. And these little things are points that help adhere. This is the first time I've seen a teeny bit of blood. This egg. So you can see this egg right here. This egg has gone too long. So what happens when an egg is inside an animal and it's been in there too long? It suffocates. So the embryonic development ceases because it dies, because it does not get the oxygen that it needs. Likely it's sheathed with all the vascularization where it gets all the oxygen that it needs. Now it gets moved out of that, and where normally she would lay, so she get it out of her body. It's a race against time, get them out in the body where they can start, you know, getting oxygen. That's one of the things that actually causes animals to go into labor, go into egg laying, is the neonates, so the embryos or the eggs demand more oxygen than the animal can provide, so that causes muscle contractions. Somebody mentioned to me, why don't you just give her oxytocin? So oxytocin, it basically causes these muscle contractions. So it causes, you know, something to go into labor or egg laying. But if the animal cannot pass, so I got a pelvic girdle, can't get through here, and I got muscles pushing right here, and then it can't pass through here. This is physics. This will just keep pushing. The animal will struggle. Donnie's...
Hold on, she's making a lot of noise. You're ruining our video.
So she's pushing with just muscle contractions, trying to get it through that pelvic girdle, and now it's obstructed because of the size of the egg. Maybe because there's too much, you know, in her life that was good. Whatever it is. But when it's all said and done, this staying stuck inside her will kill her.
Hey, buddy. You think you could get in front of Kevin?
Okay, so there still could be something else in her. So as she's moving around, hi. What do you think? She's like, no, I want nothing to do with that. All right, guys, hopefully this was a learning opportunity for all of us, but please think about the things I'm saying. And I did show some stuff in the video where I was doing some stuff with forceps. Never attempt this. It's not a good idea unless you're stupid like me. Always, you know, if you have a good experienced vet who has a very delicate touch, thank you to all of our Patreon subscribers. You guys are really nice because you're just being kind to us. I appreciate that. Life is getting tough.
I gotta turn my camera on, dude. You didn't turn your camera on!